Found out your work by George Gammon, but it was like a process. You know, the pieces of the puzzle start coming together. Life stops working, and you go, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? So about 4 years ago, my wife Kim said to me, "I'm out of here. I'm not going to put up with you anymore." And I went, the words were, "I don't need you." Oh, we have a lot of money. I mean, we've made a lot of money. And I want to say, we had nothing when we met, and without her, I wouldn't have money. And so the thing that kind of bugs me is sometimes she's perceived as she married a rich guy, but she didn't.
She didn't.
Another thing too, she's not a gold digger. And as we all know, there's a lot of gold diggers out in the world today. And the thing I love about her is I said, we have a thing called the cash flow quadrant, E, S, B, and I. I stands for inside investor. All I do is put deals together. All Kenny and I, McElroy and I, we put deals together. All Gavin does is put deals together. So when I met Kim, I had nothing. We're flat broke. This was 35 years ago. And we moved to California. We slept in the cars and all this. So she's not some rich girl who married a rich guy. I mean, some pretty woman who married a rich guy, because I wouldn't be here without her.
Right.
And we learned together. So we grew together. But and so that was kind of the start of it. So I love her with all my heart. So when I read your damn book, opening chapter. And then I get accused of being what's it called?
Misogynist?
Huh?
No, beta?
Beta?
Bedbugs? Simp?
No. It was in that white.
A white
White
knight.
knight.
White knight.
No, not a white. No, I'm accused of being a white guy. A black guy called me a white. I said, "You get your glasses checked."
Wait, what?
No, what's that? That's a toxic male.
Oh, toxic
Toxic
masculinity.
She
masculinity.
says, I've known this woman for 16 years. She says, "You're toxic. You're abusive." And I'm going, "What? That's why Kim left you. You're toxic and abusive." I'm going, "Where's all this stuff coming from?" So I call my buddy Kenny McElroy, who's here also with George, they're all real estate. And so Kenny takes me out to breakfast in Scottsdale about 6 months ago, and he introduces me to this word, Karen.
Oh, man.
He says, "Do you know what a Karen is?" and I live in this little isolated world, my little money world. I have my friends, and that's about it. And he tells me what a Karen is, and it was like this. That was the opening of the rabbit hole. And then George tells me to read your book, and the opening thing is one-itis.
Yes.
Oh,
Soulmate
man.
math. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking for and Kim was and she still is. I love her. It hurts to think that we're apart. It just hurts and hurts and hurts. And she's here with me. We love each other and all this, but she's out.
Yeah, she's
4 years we've been apart and all that.
Wow.
And the worst thing about it is that I never cheated on her. I mean, I've been in the seminar business for years. Women always have come up. I never slept with anybody else.
Wow.
And that was a mistake. Because what it cost me was my masculinity.
Right. Staying in control, staying on point.
Well, I should have been screwing my brains out and
Yeah.
cheating on her, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And I still haven't had sex with another woman. That is how powerful. Been 4 years. One-itis.
One-itis is.
Right.
And so when you talk about Harry and Meghan,
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, Harry Markle. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
And so that's when I went, and then I said, I used to sit there and listen to podcasts and all that, listen to all the gurus. And,
Fresh and fit.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I started listening to you guys. I'm going, holy mackerel. But your stuff is, I was saying on the way over here, so deep. It's primal. It's below the surface of superficiality society. So everything you're talking about is primal. And just yesterday, this is what, the 12th or 13th of June, was Kim and I had a goal that we would own a private jet. So we have a Lear 60 now.
Wow. Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Of course, I made it in flight yesterday. And sitting on the planes and drinking the Dom, I'm madly in love with her. We have all these women on board. Everything's fine. Then I mentioned Rollo's name.
Uh-oh. That's the one name you
Yes.
mentioned with your wife.
And I only hang out with powerful women. You know, I don't hang out with, I mean, they're anti-fragile. You can hit them hard, not hit them, but, you know, just be strong with them. But you just bring up something inside women. I'm going,
Because it exposes the game.
Yeah, the game.
It exposes the game. It
Yes.
exposes, it's right now, and I was just watching this new series on Netflix. It's Life and Sex or something, and it's basically open hypergamy. It is hypergamy that's now openly embraced. It's commercialized right now, and women just embrace it and lock onto it. But when somebody else says that to them, somebody presents that to them in a way that makes them feel bad, even though the information is accurate and is factual.
it's primal.
Yeah, it's primal. It's still the feelings that they lead with the emotions.
Yeah.
Like what we were saying, my aunt escaped from China with Mao Zedong and all this, and escaped to Taiwan and all this stuff. And she says, "Well, I'm a direct descendant of Genghis Khan." What? You finished the thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I was telling him that there's. I actually, I think I put this in book 4, in my fourth book, Religion. Is genomic studies show that 1 in every 200 men on planet Earth are direct DNA descendants of Genghis Khan. That's how prolific an alpha male he really was. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just find it funny because you're in a space where you focus on business, finance, you know, progressing in life. So you don't focus merely on, like, you know, dynamics of dating. Obviously you have Kim there long term. So for you to see this is like a whole new world to you. And I just feel like a lot of guys, they never get this opportunity ever. They live their life thoroughly with one-itis and then they die that way. But luckily you've been able to see the light.
But what I'm getting at is more than that. It's this feminist movement, and it's the emasculation of men. And I hear what you say when, you know, you, like, is it Rick, what's Rick Cooper?
Rich Cooper. Yeah.
Rich Cooper.
Yeah.
Before the train wreck, before you get married, you should know this stuff because the whole court system is set up against you.
Yeah.
So men are getting hammered more and more and more and more and more by the feminist movement, but it's also what you call hypergamy. So it is beyond money. It's beyond anything. It's one of the biggest problems is emasculation of men. And when you think about, you know, Trump and I are really good friends, and then we have Biden. Is Trump an alpha male, or is Biden an alpha male?
We know the answer to that.
Yeah, we know the answer to that already, I think.
Yeah, you know who the alpha male is? It's Kamala.
Yeah, Kamala
There you go.
Harris. Kamala Harris is your
You heard it
alpha
here
male.
first.
There you go. That's fine.
And, you know, I don't have any problem with strong women,
Yeah.
but I have a problem with weak men.
Yes.
I feel like there's
I have
no-
a
That's good.
big
That's
problem.
a good.
There's
that's a
no
good-
outlet for men to, like, learn this knowledge. I feel like there's a view
Yeah.
real for women, but for men there's no platform where they can learn these things because guess what? Society, the agenda, push men into a box. Hey, you know what? If you say this, you're gonna be labeled a misogynist or you're labeled, you know, someone that's hating women. But no, it's you're speaking truth to what really is about being a man. So
Yeah.
But they don't want you to know the information. That's the
Yeah.
problem with it.
Well, I love strong women, and I love strong men. I don't like pussies and wimps, you know, and I have neighbors. There's one daughter, she's the most, I've watched her grow up since she's this big. She's already been married twice, 2 different fathers, 2 different sets of kids, because the men have got no testicles. You know, when the going gets tough, they dump the woman. And I'm going, and then Kim has 2 nieces, same story. Many men, lots of kids, no fathers. And so what we're having is a fatherless kids raised by non-men.
yeah.
And so it's women raising kids, and then the kids go to school and raised by women again.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so what's happening is one of the ways you destroy capitalism is you make the men weaker.
Yeah, emasculate.
And that's why I talk about you so much.
Yeah, and that has been a strategy for a very long time.
Yes.
Even the Roman Catholic Church used to do exactly that when they were sending the conquerors over to South America, right? That was the first order of business, was to crush the masculine men that were part of the tribes that they would meet over in the New World, right? It was to emasculate the men, because if they knew that they could do that, they could crush the rest of the tribe. And now we're looking at this on a global scale.
Yes. And that's my concern is, and so I did that show with Sarah, who just came in here, and I was raving about you and Rick because the alpha came back. And that's why I say he saved my life, because alpha stands for asshole. And I'm back.
Yeah.
But when I married Kim, and I still love her with all my heart, I became a simp.
Yeah.
I became a very weak, pushover man.
Yeah, I've said this on several occasions, is that just because you can be a multimillionaire, you can be an alpha as can be in your business and the business side of things, people don't mess with you because you're that powerful. Those same guys, and I've worked for guys like this and worked with guys like this for a very long time. They can be the GM of a casino. They can be I worked with wine and spirits distributors and stuff like that. I mean, really hot, wealthy men, but they are just, their wives run the show for them. They run their lives because they're still blue pill, and they think that that's the way that's how they were brought up. They were still conditioned to be a simp, right? To sympathize, right? To be more, to supplicate to women. And that's just the way they are. So when they go home at night, she's running the show. When he goes to the office the next day, he's the alpha male of that office in that business.
Big
and
boss.
it's one does not necessarily equal the other.
Yeah, but I want to just say the biggest distinction that you guys make is the difference between an alpha and an asshole. And the biggest change that you've given me is the ability to control the asshole. Because that's what got me into so much trouble. Is some guy would say something, I'd wise off, we'd be in a fight, and that's what men do. Well, that's stupid. So now the thing that's happened for me is when I meet a Karen. Now I am extra kind to her because what you did, you gave me empathy to what's going on in her life.
Yeah, there's a blue pill for women.
I didn't know. I just thought women were bitches. Because that's what happens to them a lot of times if they don't do well after 30, 35, like he said.
Right, yeah.
It's like you say,
Hit the wall.
He says it's forever 21.
Forever 21.
Not forever 41.
What you did was gave me awareness, but another way of communicating. And so even my wife now, we're separated, we're probably going for divorce and all this stuff. We have hundreds of millions of dollars in property. It's going to be like Bill and Melinda or Bezos and all that stuff. But I love her madly because we made it together. But as you said, we kind of grew apart. So that's why I thank you and your suggestions on how to be an alpha male are very, very good. It's how to be alpha, not asshole.
Right.
Boom.
Harness the energy
big
of the
difference.
asshole. Don't be.
Yes. Because you could be.
Well, what do you say? How do you say?
Well, it's like, harness the energy of the asshole. You don't have to become the asshole.
And the night of the funeral, my father says, I want to take you aside. So the kids are the kids and all this, but it was a man-to-man between my dad and I. Like I said, he's a super of education. He was poor dad. PhD, Stanford, good man. And he took me aside. We sat at a bar, and he says, you're the oldest son, and you've seen the women come after me. I said, yeah. He said, I want you to let you know I never cheated on your mom. That's when I became him. And I still haven't slept with another woman.
Wow.
Just because I'm getting over exactly as you said in chapter one-itis. Kim really is my soulmate. But there's more than one woman out there. So that's where
there is no one. There are many ones.
Well, there's too many.
Too many ones. Yeah.
We say all the time, it's just your turn. And each person has a moment in time in your life, and we just say, hey, you know what? At this point in life, she's there for you, but may not be for tomorrow. So we say it's just your turn all the time.
Yeah, she was never yours. It was just your turn.
Just your turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what else you say? You say, you guys are nasty.
We're just speaking the truth, man.
No, you said, she's not your first choice.
Yeah.
I'm going, well, who was?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's true, man.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
Other thing you talk about, which I think is really, really primal, is what happens when a woman doesn't need you or doesn't want you. Because that's what happened with Kim. We've made so much money, but she got stronger than me. And I'll say this, she got stronger than me because I remained more beta. And we had trouble inside our company. We had these puffs, or these beta guys stealing from us. And I didn't have the balls to get rid of them. So Kim crossed the Rubicon and fired all the guys in the company.
Wow.
I was the pussy.
She became the alpha.
I was the pussy. Yeah, she became the alpha. And that's when our relationship ended because I didn't step up and she
Yes,
did.
there was a power vacuum is what there was. It was
Yeah.
like, and women will do this because they don't, if a woman is with who she perceives as a weaker guy,
Yeah.
she has, like, power abhors a vacuum, right? And so if you're not going to be the dominant person who's providing that kind of security, or in this case, you could just kind of make the case that that was protection. She had to get rid of those guys. You weren't doing it, so she has to step into the role of the masculine
Yes.
to say, you guys are out,
Yes.
and we're going to start all over again because
Yeah.
he won't do it. And that's a heavy hit for guys once a woman has to
Yeah.
step into it's what I call the 3 Ps: provisioning, protection, and parental investment.
Right.
And so when women view men as weak, they have to step into that role, and they often resent stepping into that role because they're the vulnerable sex. You're the one that should be the one that's
You
doing
got it.
that.
And so everybody, I understand that I became, when you look up fat beta, that's my picture in the dictionary.
But see, I'll say this. At least you understood what it was, and now you can grow from it. Because most guys, they wallow in their misery. They never understand what it really is, and they just say, you know what? Life is unfair. But you understand what really happened there. So that's very impressive that you... Accountability.
That you come to that on your own is great.
Accountability,
Yeah.
very important.
Yeah.
Having the insight to know that and actually say, you know what, I screwed up.
Well, I'm a former, a Marine, and Marines know, no pain, no gain. The pain is still here.
Yeah.
It's like a shotgun blast. So your opening chapter screwed me up.
And that's why it
One-itis.
is the opening chapter, by the way.
It's one-itis, because I married the fairy princess. So did Harry and Mary May.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
And-
go through. You're gonna have to go through a phase of detoxing from
Yeah,
all of that.
and that's where I'm at right now. But another thing that's great about your work is you talk about how you frame things, and it's like some of the stuff they say is priceless. Like you said something about it's more exciting to go after a gorgeous woman. Something like that. Wait, something to So I'm hitting on.
That's okay, you go.
What they say is you got to practice, which I agree on. A lot of practice. So I was practicing on these dogs. I was getting nowhere.
Oh man, yeah, you gotta make the effort worth
Lord.
it. Yeah.
And so I'm still practicing, but I noticed that what you say, the more beautiful the woman, your game steps up. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and from a biological perspective, that's true as well. Because when you are surrounded by beautiful women, you get a testosterone spike as a result of that. Sterling Cooper, that's on you. But yeah, there are biological components to that as well.
Yes.
If you're hitting on beautiful women and you're surrounded by beautiful women, that helps with your testosterone levels as well.
But also the thing about Forever 21 is that there's a whole different way of talking to women when they're 30. You call it the epiphany, right?
The epiphany phase between 29 and 31 years old. That's when women realize that they cannot compete in the sexual marketplace as well as they did when they were 23.
Yeah.
So you're looking at like a 10 years difference at that point right there. And the priorities are different at that time. Are we good still?
Yes. Okay. So...
But with the other thing that we're talking about that, it brought my compassion for women. Because when they go over 35 and they're not there yet,
Yeah,
There's no going back.
It's distressing.
and I'm the asshole as usual, that doesn't work. I am now kinder, more respectful.
Yeah, because you know the nature. You know women's nature. You know women's nature.
It's funny because like guys all the time they'll be like, oh, I know to talk to this chick. that chick. But Rollo says, hey, you know what? Break down by age where she's at. Because you got to meet her where she's at. It's very important.
Yeah, exactly. And then and understanding what women go through at different phases of maturity. So like at the epiphany phase, that's when it's like, I'm done with all the jerks. I've had my fun. No fun for you. You know, that's you'll see that in the profiles for like Tinder and Bumble and for dating profiles.
No one
right
night
now.
stands.
Yeah, exactly. And so now they want to get serious. When I'm not saying that they don't actually feel that way. It's that the timing of it is very convenient because now they're going into the phase of life where they cannot compete at the same level that they used to before.
Correct.
And if they haven't consolidated on long-term security by that time, it becomes that much exponentially. It becomes more difficult for